Today we're making stick blender mayo. So you can see I'm making this for the chicken salad video that I'm going to be putting up. You can see the crispy chicken skin in the background. So this is just me grabbing all the ingredients that I'm going to need. So I'm grabbing the salt and egg, and I think I put a lemon in this for acid. And that's kind of the main ingredients, the 2 bottles of oil that you can see there right behind the cup. It's just a neutral oil. I think it's avocado oil, but really any vegetable oil will do. I mean, you could use olive oil, I guess, but it's going to be like a pretty strong flavor. This is more neutral flavored mayo. I'm just trying to go for something middle of the road that's going to go well with the chicken salad. So you can see I just cracked the egg in there, and then I'm going to add a pinch of salt. It doesn't really matter how much salt you start with because you can always season it with salt at the end. You can see there got some Dijon mustard that I'm going to use for flavor, but also to help with the emulsion. You don't really need it, but I like it in there. And then there's a pinch of salt. And then that's about, a little bit more than half a lemon left. So I'm just going to take a little bit off because I only really need like a teaspoon or so of acid. And so I'm just going to squeeze that in there. So you'll see for this, and you can see on the right hand side, I have the stick blender. If you don't have a stick blender, I mean, you technically can do this with just a bowl and a whisk. It's just not as easy. This is kind of like the easiest, most foolproof way of making mayonnaise that I found. There's recipes online that'll claim to be foolproof where you just like kind of dump all the ingredients, including the oil in, and use the stick blender, but I've had that fail multiple times, whereas this is like just as easy, but it's actually foolproof. So I'm just starting the blender on just to get the egg and the oil and everything going together. And then you can just see I'm like starting really slow with the oil at first, just like dribbling it in really slow until that emulsion forms. And then you'll see later in the video that I start pouring it in much faster once that emulsion forms. Again, if you don't have a stick blender, you can definitely just use a bowl and a whisk. It's just going to be a lot more work, and this is just so easy. Also, I think that stick blender there that we have is like $30. You could probably get a better one for like $50. I can put some links to better stick blenders in the description below to help people out if you don't have one. So I'm just pouring, and then you can see now it's already pretty thick. So I'm having to lift the blender up to blend in the oil. Now I'm just dumping the oil in, and it's fine. There's no way the emulsion's going to break. Obviously, I'm getting used to doing the video work because I'm just sticking the bottle right in front of the camera. But the mayo is pretty much done at this point. You just really add enough oil until it's as thick as you want it. If you go a little too thick, you can always just like splash a little bit of water in there, maybe like a teaspoon or a tablespoon at a time to thin it back out, and it's perfectly fine. You really can't mess it up. So you can see I'm just tasting it there to make sure I don't need to add like any more acid or any more salt or anything like that. And then our kitchen right now is a bit of a disaster, as you may be able to tell in the background. I'm building all our kitchen cabinets, and I'm kind of in the middle of that. So we have a bunch of boxes, and right now I'm searching for our tiny spatula, which I cannot find, and I just found it. So I highly recommend getting one of these tiny silicone spatulas. I find that we use it multiple times a day, every day, and it will get everything out of a jar or a bowl or anything like that. And it is a perfect tool for this kind of thing because the mayo is just completely stuck inside, but this thing just kind of scrapes it all out. And that's pretty much it in terms of making the stick blender mayo. This takes about like 4 or 5 minutes to whip this together. I definitely do this when I need like a batch of mayo. For example, when I'm making this chicken salad, which I'll put a video out for shortly once I cut that video. This also makes a great base for a blue cheese dressing, which there'll be more details about that in the blog post, so you can check that out. I'll show you the consistency here in a second, but other than that, if you want to subscribe to more videos, hit the subscribe button, and thanks so much for watching.